Hello,
Ow.
everyone, and oh, we can just
Okay, go.
edit that out and start over, just for
And action.
equality. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Megan.
I'm Sage. I almost
Did you
forgot my
forget your
name.
And welcome to the Squeaky Floorboard Society. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for coming back.
We finally have listeners in UK.
Oh, great. The British are coming.
We have 2 listeners in Australia, 1 in Japan still, and then the US has like 120 listeners.
That's fascinating.
It is.
That's nice. I can't believe how many people listen to us. Like I know that somebody on TikTok put this in perspective because, occasionally we're still at the point where we get 20 views on something and we're like this is awesome. And for most people 20 views is,
Nothing.
nothing. And I saw this TikTok that was like social media really has us convinced that 20 likes doesn't mean anything, but if there was 20 people in your room trying to play in your ass, that'd be a lot of people.
That would be a lot of people.
Like, you know what? You're right. Sage, do you have anything you want to share with the class before we get into the episode?
Guys, I'm sick. If you
You,
are watching, you can tell that I'm definitely sick.
I don't know if she'll leave it in after she does the video editing, but I think the giveaway that you were sick was probably the Kleenex action.
It's a what are these called? Affinity cubes?
Oh, I thought that was a Kleenex.
Oh, it's an affinity cube.
Oh, I'm stupid.
I was like, I came prepared today with
Editor,
fidgets.
editor, kill me.
No, but prior to that was I came equipped with my toilet paper.
So you guys see how I got there?
I
Showed me toilet paper and then went.
I did go to the Christmas train thing yesterday.
Ooh, how was that?
Pretty good. I didn't see any Amish.
Oh, that's good.
I did, however, hear I think a couple got into a wreck and left the scene of the accident and they were at the gas station because I was like we're so we were like low on gas. So my fuel light comes on. I look to the girl that's in my passenger seat because my husband was sitting in the back. I was like, "Do you know Deliverance is one of my favorite movies?" And then I turned onto a gravel road that just had these ominous signs that said "Keep going with arrows." And
Where
she,
were you?
oh, we were up in Lancaster,
Oh,
PA, which is like almost 2 hours away.
that is true Amish country. I don't know how you didn't see
I
any
didn't
Amish
see a
people.
single one, but I did hear a couple arguing after we had to go and get gas because we literally left that place with 2 miles left before we were on
Oh,
empty. Luckily, I
oh
was able to
wow.
make it to the gas station.
What are you doing, Sage?
I don't know. I was sick yesterday too, but I
That's fair.
already paid for the ticket, so I was like, I'm going.
Yeah, you got to go once you pay for the tickets.
Yeah.
Did you buy anything or get anything fascinating?
No, but yeah. But we went on a train ride yesterday, and it was nice. Then we went to Texas Roadhouse because yesterday was his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
So
Dennis.
he's 37 now, allegedly.
Maybe. Allegedly, her husband's 37.
But yeah, then he got German chocolate cake and he was super happy about that.
Oh, of course. Why not Russian chocolate?
I don't know if you can find, well, probably the Russian store.
The Russian store?
Yeah, we have a Russian store here.
Oh, that's fascinating. Do you
Uh,
guys have like a big Russian population then?
down by where my in-laws live, yeah.
Well, that makes sense because they're Russian.
But because like Brooklyn, if I'm correct, Brooklyn has a huge Russian population. And then down there
Okay.
has another huge, like Russian population as well.
Okay. Cool. I didn't know that.
That's the end of my small talk.
Oh, okay. I broke my toe, guys. I broke my toe last Sunday. So I painted mine and Daryl's bedroom finally, and I was very excited about that. It's a lovely egg pants, eggplant plum color. And so I had to take my string lights down and I was hanging them back up. and I needed to put another screw, like not screw, another nail in the wall. Because I don't like I don't like the look of command strips on my wall. Ignore ignore him. I don't like the way he looks. Um, but I don't like him, and quite frankly, I don't trust it to hold my string lights up. Because what if I like kick my string lights and yank the whole strip of command strips down? No, thank you.
Because then you gotta hang them
So
back up.
yeah, and they're gonna every time I've used a command strip in this house, it's torn the paint off the wall too,
Yeah,
which is what the opposite of what they're supposed to do.
that is true.
So I hate I have beef with command strips. But it could also be that I'd used them in places that like were painted with the previous owner's paint, which was cheap and shitty.
Yeah.
But anyways, I was off on a tangent there. I was hanging the stuff up. I'm standing on my bed, put the hammer on the bed, and I go to get off the bed, and my butt hits the bed when I get off it because I'm short. So my butt hits the bed about the same time as my feet, and the hammer flies off the bed and hits me in the foot and breaks my big toe. And I have a job where I work entirely on my feet all day and walking around a grocery store. And I didn't call off work at all. I didn't miss any days this week. My feet were hurting so bad. I'm bruising in places I didn't think your foot could bruise from walking weird. I finally called off today. I was like, I can't. Last night, I couldn't walk. I worked yesterday, and when I got home, I had to like crawl
Oh,
all evening. Except I can't put my left foot down when I crawl. I have to crawl with it in the air because that's where my broken toe is. And like one of my like my right knee is all like because you obviously if this foot is like cocked, I'm walking funny on this foot too. So like it's twisting my right knee. It's very unpleasant. I'm gonna go to the doctor tomorrow.
you can't catch a
Because
break.
I was like, I was just thinking, I was like, why even go to the doctor? I'm not going to go to the emergency room for a broken toe. They're going to tell me to tape my toes together. I can do that by myself. I know I need to tape my toes together. But yeah, I don't know what I did, but it's egregious. I still can't move my big toe at all.
I wonder if you like damaged way more than just the bone.
God, I hope not. I mean, and I told one of my bosses at work exactly how it happened, and he was like, "That is the most cartoonish way anyone's ever." And he's like, "I believe that that's what happened to you because I can see how you're walking." And I was like, "Yeah, I, I don't know why it was like a fucking Looney Tunes cartoon, but
And Megan joined a live that I was hosting, like
that
right
night,
after it.
I popped in. I needed somebody to talk to. I was like, I broke my toe.
That is indeed what happened. Because I think we were supposed to be doing trivia. We were waiting for people to show up. And then,
It
like,
said, I think it just said chill night.
it might have. I don't know. But either way, you came in. And you were just like, I just need to, like, get my mind off of this.
Yeah,
And then
it
your
was.
child was, like, hitting it every single time he came near you.
Yeah, he's still doing that. Dude, I made the mistake of trying to like bend my toes to put them into a shoe. Because
Ooh.
obviously you have to wear shoes. I was laid out in the floor for a solid 30 minutes holding my foot, like doing the Peter Griffin thing where he's like rocking
Where
back
he's
and
got his
forth.
knee.
Yeah, I have no idea what I possibly could have done to my toe. Because I've broken a toe before. It wasn't my big toe. But I broke like two toes at once before in the middle of my foot. I don't remember it being this bad.
It might be because that toe, it's like actually supports your weight.
That's gotta be it. Um, or the hammer hit just right, and I now am like sans a joint in my toe, just disintegrated, gone, reduced to ashes.
No joint
It's
for
it's
you.
gnarly. My favorite part of the whole ordeal was that I redid my self tanner. I know you can't tell on my face, with this lighting. I don't know why my lighting is so. I have it on like the warm setting, and it still does not look very warm.
It's just like we're gonna
But
make you the palest possible.
I look very pale today. But like I feel like oh no, you can't even tell on there. This lighting is not be the shirt in this background because this is orange,
It
maybe.
it might be.
but
Maybe put a
did
white
myself
sweater on. Maybe it'll like.
I redid my self tanner and I had my toes taped, and when I went to change my toe tape, I realized I had a solid white band around those 2 toes that I couldn't that wasn't tanned like the rest of my foot. And my feet especially, like, I know it's the case for everyone that your, like, hands and feet take self-tan better than the rest of your body, but my calves don't take it at all, I'm finding, for some reason. And so my feet looked utterly orange, except for the line where my taping was.
I love that for you.
So, yeah, I can't walk anywhere very fast. Took me like 4 minutes to get from my living room to this room. I've had my kid the whole time too. Daryl has not had a day off of work all week either.
Aw.
This week he has literally not. The only day he had off was Tuesday, and technically he didn't even have that off because he ended up picking up an overnight tagging shift. So he's not even been home,
Oh.
except for no, he had Thursday off. He was gonna have Tuesday and Thursday off, and he picked up a shift Tuesday. So he was home Thursday, and that was literally it. And so it's just been me and my son here. My son, uh, some of you guys know my son is a toddler. He's 4. He doesn't care that I broke my toe at all. He's like, "Mommy, go get me juice." And I'm like, "Okay. I have to go get you your juice. You can't open your sippy by yourself. That's the entire point. I don't want you dumping it everywhere." So, get him his juice. "Okay, buddy, do you need anything else? Do you want anything else from the kitchen while I'm in there?" "No." Come back, "Mama, I want fruit snacks." "Okay."
Get you the knee scooter so you can get around the house quicker.
I have resorted at certain times to scooting like a dog with worms. Just scooting on my butt.
You know what? If it
Um,
works, it's not stupid.
Yeah, he does not give a fuck that I broke my toe. He's just as demanding as ever, and it's fine cuz he shouldn't not get what he wants because I broke my toe. However, that might be part of the reason that my toe's in such bad shape. And for those of you wondering, um Daryl and I work different shifts. I work in the morning, he works in the evening so that we don't have to like transfer the kid around all the time to my parents. Um so He's if I'm when I'm home, he's not home.
And then
Just be
vice versa.
It's not that he's being unhelpful. He's not here. All right. Are
I
you
know
ready to be Oh, go ahead.
I know that a few people are super excited about this episode.
Yeah, people that you like personally know have asked about this episode. I don't think anyone else would ever ask about this episode. This is kind of a nerd episode.
Well, they were like, I want to know. They're like, I could look it up myself, but like,
But
why
but
when you
they
guys
want to
can tell
hear
us?
me and my fucked up bangs say it. So, today's episode is going to be something that is a little bit different. This one isn't going to be for those who are looking for a scare, unless you're really afraid of linguistics. This one's a little more academic in nature. In an earlier episode, I promised to talk more about the actual linguistic etymology of the word werewolf. Now, this isn't a difficult task. It is a quick Google search, but there is a little more to it than meets the eye. So let's dive into the history and origins of the term we now know as werewolf.
I'm excited.
So the So the word itself, werewolf, has its roots in Old English. It's actually an amalgamation of 2 Old English words used to create a single term to describe something entirely new. Wer, W-E-R, was the word for man or male. Wolf, W-U-L-F, was the word for wolf. But since Old English and by proxy English are German languages, these terms both have Proto-Germanic roots. Where comes from whereas, which is the Proto Germanic word for man or husband, which is a Germanization of the Indo European word wiros, which means man, warrior, or hero. I thought
Okay.
this was interesting because we've ended up with where, which just means man, and originally some connotations of it didn't even mean man, it just meant hero, and now we're using it in the word werewolf.
That actually is interesting.
This is also where the Latin word vir comes from, which also means man. And I'm bringing this up because the connection between vir and where is sometimes erroneously portrayed in online discussion as one coming from the other, when in actuality both descend from huiros. If I'm fucking up the word huiros, I'm so sorry to any I don't think we have any language experts listening, but if
Maybe
by
we do.
chance, but if by chance you speak Proto-Germanic languages, I'm so sorry. My only the closest thing I've ever had was a class on Beowulf where I had to briefly speak some Anglo-Saxon, which is horrifically difficult. The addition of the extra letter E to take it from WER to WERE is actually found in Middle German. There are three, is it three? There's a few different types of like German throughout the ages.
Okay.
There's like Old German, Middle German, and High German, and then there's Modern German, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And so we got WER during like the older German. And as Middle German comes about, the spelling of certain words changes. And where was one of those words.
Okay. I'm following you so far, I think.
Okay. It's likely that that bled into how the final word of werewolf was formalized. Wolf derived from wolfas, which is also a Proto Germanic word. The root of this is the Indo European word wulkwos.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It is spelled WLKWOS.
Your guess is as good as mine.
And while wulkwos is a noun meaning wolf, the same word was also used in Indo European language to describe something dangerous.
Okay.
So while it is technically a noun, it was also used as like sort of an adjective. Not even an adjective, like a noun, like a catch all noun for things that were dangerous.
Okay.
And that makes sense because wolves were one of the biggest threats in that region at the time.
As we have learned.
And this whole discussion leads to a really funny conclusion that if you take the etymology in the most literal sense, the conclusion is that all werewolves are male. Since wer means man, technically a female werewolf should not be a werewolf at all, but a withwolf
A whiff wolf?
with WYF being Old English for woman or female.
Whiff wolf. I like that.
So if you went back and described these creatures as werewolves with the correct accent, they might know what you were saying, but they may correct you saying, well, that's female. Because were in the most literal sense was just meant man, it did not mean human.
Okay.
In a more modern sense, though, this would possibly morph into wife wolf, since with WYF and with WIF are the base for the word wife.
Okay.
So that's why old wives' tales are called old wives' tales. They're literally just stuff old women said, since wife didn't always just mean a married woman, it just meant a woman.
Okay. That is actually really cool.
Yeah, linguistics is so fun because you get to find out stuff like that. You get to go, oh, that female werewolf's actually a wife wolf.
That is really cool. I'm actually I'm actually following along now. At first I was like, you're giving me names of languages and I'm confused.
What I found super interesting was that none of these words are pronounced with the V sound where there is a W. Um, I took German, so I assumed it would be the case, but apparently the shift in the W sound to a V sound didn't occur until Middle High German language came about. And by that point, those words were already fully in use in the English language, so there was no reason to change it.
That makes
So,
sense.
like, English speaking areas were already saying where for man by the time that Middle High German came about. So they're
Okay.
like, well, we're not going to change that. That's not even us. That's those guys. And so now that we know about the basis of this word, we can talk about its earliest usages. The very first recorded use of the word werewolf was in the ecclesiastical ordinances of King Knut. Knut? I actually never figured out how to pronounce his name. Cnut. He's a somewhat famous king. I've just
Cunt.
never. Cnut.
Okay.
Very close to the spelling of another word.
The one that I just spelled.
Yeah. I I I even looked it up. I've read this name 1,000 times in like just old timey historical stuff. Still haven't the faintest idea how to pronounce it.
From Denmark?
Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted by all of the names that it gave me. It won't even
Are
give
you
me a
looking up?
pronunciation.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
Anyways, so this was published within the very early 1000s, within the range of 1016 to 1035. We know it had to be within those years because that's when he was king. And he wrote, "Therefore must the shepherds be very watchful, that the madly audacious werewolf do not too widely devastate, nor bite too many of the spiritual flock." Canute. That's an incredible name. King Canute.
I'm laughing at myself.
So, oh, hang on, I gotta yawn, damn. So, King Canute was the ruler of the North Sea Empire, which was England, Denmark, and Norway. However, werewolf was not used as we think of it today. In this context, it was used more as a reference to the devil or devils. Despite this, it seems to have the base concept of an actual werewolf behind it. While England did not yet have true werewolf legends yet, the Norse nations had various sagas with wolf shapeshifters. So it is likely that Canute was kind of pulling this in.
Yeah.
Clearly, people were indeed saying it already and would continue to do so.
Okay.
And so, basically, once that's out there, the word just is in the lexicon.
So it's kind of like a slang term that caught on and then like evolved a little bit.
Well, and you gotta remember, King Canute was really, really influential.
He
Him and his
looked.
stupid name. He looked influential. Did you
Yeah.
see the painting? Did you see a painting of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like somebody who knew what he was talking about most of the time.
He looks like someone that I would just like listen to. I wouldn't be able to understand him because he speaks a different language, but
Right. He'd be like, the werewolf," and you'd be like, "Oh, I know that one. I know that word.
that's
We did an
me.
episode on it."
That's me when my husband and my in-laws are talking because they speak Russian, and I'm just like, okay, I know that word. I know that word, but I'm really great at reading body language,
Right.
so I
Sometimes that's all it takes.
so I can usually kind of figure out what the conversation is.
We can also examine the etymology of some other wolfy words that we discussed this season, namely the word lycanthropy.
Ooh.
This word is Greek, and since I'm not nearly as familiar with Greek as I am German, I am not going to go nearly as in depth as I did in the last section. I actually know nothing about Greek, despite one of my professor's best efforts to teach us Greek while studying the play Lysistrata. That's why basically the only thing I know about Greek is that the name Kinesius is a dick joke.
The only thing
Like
I
there's
know
a
about Greek like language is the alpha and the
and
beta,
Omega.
and yeah,
Do you read Omegaverse content? Is that why you know this?
not yet. It's in my read list.
As as somebody who's in a lot of anime fandoms, I've seen more Omegaverse content than I could possibly ever desire to. I have no desire to see any of it, actually, but
It just
man,
shows up.
people really you look for certain stuff about a certain character and you realize, man, people want them to be gay real bad.
I'm finding that in some of. Well, I'll talk. That'll be my small talk for the next episode.
Okay.
Uh, I'm gonna grab part of it real quick while you talk because it's like a couple feet from me.
So, anyways, lycanthropy was not named for King Lycan.
Really?
Yes, I found that in my research, and that's the reason that this whole section is in here.
Okay.
It comes from the Greek word lykos, which means wolf, and this is actually where King Lycan gets his name, not the other way around.
Okay.
because King Lycan's not a real figure, right? So they name him King Lycan after the term Lycos, which means wolf.
I thought he was a real person.
Okay, mom. Like my mom thought that Merlin was a real person and King Arthur.
He's not?
No, girl, King Arthur is a mythical king. There was no Camelot. There was no Merlin. There was no Morgan Le Fay. You think that there was a British king who got a sword from a lady in a lake?
Britain's weird, man.
You know what, though? That's fair. Britain's a weird fucking place. You could go there and see a bitch in a lake. Dude, we literally watched Monty Python in the Quest for the Holy Grail recently. So now all I can think about is strange women in lakes distributing swords is no basis for a system of government.
I'm gonna cry. I've
And
learned so much.
the other half of the word lycanthropy is anthropos, which means man. Um, I did put the actual Greek terms in the doc. So hang on, let me write this out since our viewers can't and listeners cannot see it. Let me find a clean page.
I thought King Arthur was real. I'm sad now.
Okay, this is gonna be really bad. I'm sorry to Greek people. This is as good as I can do. This is what I'm. Oh God, this is what I'm working with. That's Lycos,
Okay.
and then oh, oh Jesus.
We should have printed these out so you could have just held them up and they would have been like on a piece of paper.
It's okay. This is a good exercise for me. And the bottom one is anthropos.
Okay.
Don't ask me how I remembered how to pronounce those words. Couldn't tell you. I'm just good at remembering things.
Good job.
But so once again, lycanthrope is literally just the word man-wolf, and lycanthropy is just the condition of being a man-wolf.
Okay.
And I realize that this is kind of a short episode, and I realize that linguistics can be a little boring, but I think that it's a really fascinating study in this case. The study of the etymology of the words werewolf and lycanthrope brings you to the same conclusion both times. No matter where you go, people looked at man wolves and said, "Gotta call it like I see it. That is a man wolf." And then they named it exactly that.
Okay.
If I got anything wrong here, forgive me. I am not a professional linguist, just a former English major who thinks this stuff is very cool.
What's
And
really
that,
cool is I think the person that's super excited about this episode was an English major as well.
perfect. Then they should enjoy it. That is the etymology of the word werewolf, as well as the word lycanthropy or lycanthrope.
That's really cool. I like that it's only men that can be werewolves.
Yeah, that's crazy. Kind of like how only Catholics can be rougarous, only men can be werewolves. Hang on. The French loup-garou. What is the direct translation of that? I wonder.
You think I would know as much time as I spend in France.
Oh, you meant literally for a second?
I've never been outside of the country. I don't even own a passport.
Um, wolf, werewolf. It comes up as, garou comes up as werewolf. Maybe I should do the French word for man,
Wolf, werewolf.
because that can't be right. What I just looked up cannot be correct. Wilma. No, definitely not close. Not even close. So the French looked at werewolves and said, "Look, a wolf werewolf." I don't know what that could possibly mean. And so, because I thought it would have been funny if, like, rougarou, which comes from loup-garou, I thought it'd be funny if that was also based on a man wolf, because then only Catholic men could become rougarous. The women were safe.
What was I going to say? Never mind. I guess it wasn't important. It literally left my brain the second I opened my mouth.
Yeah, I thought it was funny that we would be, if you and I were to become werewolves, we would actually be wife wolves.
We would be.
Yeah, wife wolves.
I want to know what the fuck I was going to say.
Werewolves stole your train of thought.
They must have. I had
Do
a
you have
really good
any?
point. What the fuck was my point? I'll remember it at the most awkward time, and then I'll text you, and you're gonna be like,
You'll
"What are you saying to me?"
you'll remember it like next episode.
I will probably.
It, I think that's probably all I have for you on the etymology of. No, that is all I have for you on the etymology of werewolves. But I do want to let people know that season 2 is well underway, and boy, do we have some fun stuff planned.
I'm almost completely done with my research for season 2. I'm working on
I'm
my
not.
last one.
I'm,
I avoid doing homework by doing research for the podcast.
well, my semester is just about over, so
Mine is too. I have 2 more weeks.
yeah, I think yeah, mine ends on the 19th. I'm sure yours does too.
Yeah, mine ends on the night. Well, one ends on December 18th, and the other class ends on the 19th.
Yeah, I think I have one that ends on the 18th as well.
And then I have a couple days, and then I come to the state you're
Woo!
in. I'm there
Woo!
for like 5 to 6 days.
So exciting.
I'm ready, and I've got I'm getting everything prepared. I'm packing the camera bag. I'm
We can do
excited.
an in-person episode.
We can. I'm excited.
And then sometime in the spring, late spring, early summer, I'm going to be going to visit her.
And
So,
yeah, it's gonna be exciting. We have
that
to,
and I was like, "Huh?
and we gotta go to Gettysburg and at least film an episode.
How
Like even
far
if
are
we're
you
not,
from Right.
are you asking
How
me
far are
how?
you from How far are you from Point Pleasant?"
I think it's like 3 hours. So guys, that is that on that.
Yep. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to come and break my other toe with a hammer because my pronunciation was so bad, feel free to do that, I guess. If you are a linguistics expert, let us know down below. Maybe you can give us some information
Or
that we
maybe
didn't
you can come
have.
on and teach us.
Can you teach Sage how to read the English language, please?
Can you make it easier for me to read?
If you are King Arthur, get in touch. Sage would love to prove me wrong about King Arthur, and so would my mom.
I'm so sad about that.
She was really sad too. But no, that whole discussion is what happened when she was like, when she was talking about, I was like, you didn't really think that there was like some dude named Merlin like casting spells, fucking Shadow Wizard Money Gang style, did you? And she
See,
was
my
like,
thought was
she
that
goes, well, what about the dragons? I said, girl, what? What the
you completely cut
dragons?
out.
Oh, yeah, I got too shrill. She said, what were knights fighting in the Middle Ages then? As if it was a checkmate.
No, I'm really
Not
sad by it
dragons.
because I thought it was like during like the witch trials. So I was like, oh, that would make sense. That's
You thought that something that happened in like that long ago was in any way correlated to stuff that happened in the 1500s,
I
Primera?
did. I have no concept of time. I don't know if you know that.
You thought King Arthur was kicking it in the 1500s? When just hang on. The 5th and 6th centuries.
I thought it was in the 1500s because I was like, oh, well, like they
So
would
that
have.
would be the 400s and 500s, girl. You're 1,000 years off.
I'm doing my best.
Every episode, Paige learns something so new.
I feel like Ethan.
He's learning phonics. You're learning about Napoleon.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Again,
just
I'm the product of public schooling.
yeah, yeah, 100%. This is the public schools. This is this is why my hair went in my mouth. This is why you don't send your kids to public school. That's what this podcast is actually. It's just a PSA about the dangers of public school.
I will say though, I am in college, so I am learning. Granted, I'm
Yeah,
learning
she
about
made it through,
Sigmund
huh?
Freud and Skinner, but I'm learning because I think that is a violent crime. All right. Well, that is that on that. If you guys have any stories you want to send in, please send them to the email. I'll probably put it on the screen, but it'll definitely be in the description below.
All right, guys, we will see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.